Hey guys, it's your host again, Noah from the Garchomp Daily. Hope you guys are doing well. I know it's been quite a minute since I've made a video, obviously, as I posted on to the Twitter and within our community. My computer's been down. I finally got him back. You know, I got 4 new RAM sticks in it, so everything's all good. And I was like, you know what? Let's make a video as my big coup de grace with being back, you know. And with that, I wanted to make a Mega Evolutions video. Specifically 8 Megas that I believe should be within, you know, Legends ZA. And what I believe all of us would like to see. Now again, I don't speak for everybody, so you let me know what Megas you'd love to see within Legends ZA. Did I miss any Megas after I give you guys my list? Is there any that you would want me to change out? Just let me know. But I'm going to go over 8 Megas that I believe should be in the game. And I'm really hoping we do see. And with them, with these 8 that I've chosen, I've given 8 new abilities that coincide with their Mega Evolution, which I would hope to see, if not see something similar, to be given to them upon them being released to Pokemon Legends ZA. Pokemon Day is this month, so we gotta be ready for it. But with that being said, let's get into the video here. So, as a disclaimer, any art that is used in this video, I will provide credits to within the description. Always support the people within any of these videos that I use the art or any sounds from. Never take credit for stuff that isn't yours. But with that being said, let's move on. Let's get to number 8. So for number 8, I have Hydreigon. Now Hydreigon has always been one of the bigger dragon type names that I have always loved, especially coming into Gen 5 and forward. Even today, you know, it has been a huge presence for me. It's been on my teams a couple times. It's also been in a lot of VGC teams as well. It has great typing with Dark Dragon, and with Terrestrialization, it makes it even more a threat. Now, yeah, it's 4 quad weakness to fairies, but it's bulk. It's able to hit hard, and with it being able to handle, you know, pesky ghost and psychic types, that's just a huge, you know, a huge thing for it. But with it, I was kind of surprised that we've not gotten a Mega for it yet. I mean, we have quite a few Dragon-type Megas. Mega Hydreigon, I think, is one of those likely Pokemon that we'll see get a Mega. That's why it's so low on the list, because it's like, the more I look at it, it's like they're going to eventually give a Mega to all pseudo-legendaries, if not most. I mean, you know, when you got Garchomp and Metagross, you know, with their Megas, it's like, you know, eventually there's going to be a give. And I think they would definitely start with Hydreigon. So, with that being said, what would its ability be? So I gave it the ability known as Pure Evil. This activates once Mega Hydreigon Mega evolves. And what happens is essentially all opposing Pokemon are flinched, along with the Hydreigon that Mega evolved. Now that doesn't sound too good, but here's the kicker. Especially if you're in doubles. If you're in doubles, every Pokemon except your partner Pokemon is flinched. So essentially the 2 opposing Pokemon are flinched. And then the Hydreigon isn't really flinched, it just cannot go that turn. But it gets a large boost to its speed and both attack stats. It's as if it did a Dragon Dance almost. And that's essentially what it is, you know. Instead of it saying, you know, Hydreigon's been flinched, it will say Hydreigon now boosts its own, you know, speed and attack stats. And like that's what it would say. It's essentially like it's setting up before, you know, anything else, which is really nice because now you essentially get a free setup upon you know, upon Mega evolving, and no one can really attack you. And like I said before, especially if you're in doubles, this can be very dangerous. Because now not only is the 2 Pokemon you're opposing being flinched, but your partner Pokemon isn't. So meaning 3 of the 4 Pokemon are going to be not being able to move except one. So let's say that you have a Hydreigon and an Arcanine. The Arcanine will be able to throw in some hits while you get set up. I think this would be a really great move, especially for double battles. I did make sure that a lot of these abilities, not all of them, but a lot of them had some type of recognition of double battles, just because they are very popular, especially within VGC. To where, you know, it recognizes that, and they have some type of use within double battles. Now, not all of them, but most of them do. This would be a very pesky and, again, pure evil ability, because it essentially gets like a dragon or a Swords Dance but on crack. You know, it really sets up just so, you know, because it's already getting a large boost to its both attacks and its speed, so it's going to be able to hit like a truck. So it's going to make it to where when you see someone have a Hydreigon on their team, you're going to have a Fairy type on you. Like, you're automatically going to have a Fairy type, because if you don't, this Hydreigon has a good chance of just sweeping you off the field. So that's my number 8. I really think it would be really cool to see, especially its ability. But let's move on to number 7. So for number 7, I chose Fearow. Fearow is one of those Pokemon that I want to see more love come to it. I mean, we see a lot of Pokemon get Megas because they need more love come towards them. I mean, look at Mawile and Sableye and Pidgeot. I mean, and Banette. I mean, these are Pokemon that were either almost forgotten or Pokemon that we really didn't see too much of. I know that Mawile had kind of a small fan base going with it, but it wasn't, seen a crazy amount of before, the Mega Evolution it got. And ever since it got its Mega Evolution, it's definitely grown more popularity. And so has Pidgeot. Pidgeot's Mega has definitely got it out of the gutter a bit, and I think Fearow deserves that, because Fearow can be, used correctly, especially for an early game bird Pokemon. It does really, really well. And I think with it getting a Mega Evolution, it can be used more than just a early route Pokemon. I think it could be boosted to a standard to where it can be used a lot more often, and be used to where it can even make an appearance within a VGC, championship, So Mega Fearow, I think, would definitely help bring it love and give it what it desperately deserves. And with that, I gave it the ability Menacing Stare Down. Essentially, upon Mega Evolving, it activates. It sharply decreases the speed and physical defense of the opponents on the field, while Fearow's evasiveness spikes by a really large amount, and provides a large boost to its physical attacks. Again, nothing crazy. It's like a very cracked out Intimidate almost. But I think that would definitely help it not only be able to dodge moves, but make it be able, like, a very pesky hard hitter. It'll be able to dodge moves and just wallop on the teams. I think that's something that it deserves, just so it can show it's still there. It's not ready to be forgotten, essentially. So that's my number 7. I think it's a really good choice. For number 6, I chose Zygarde. So Zygarde, again, Legend ZA. This is based off of Zygarde. I'm like, this is Zygarde. I mean, the logo even has Zygarde scales on it. And I'm really hoping, if not, it's almost guaranteed that Zygarde is going to have a Mega. Now, it doesn't mean that it automatically will, but it'd be really weird if it didn't. Or at least it gets, like, a new form. But I'm hoping it gets a Mega. I hope it gets a really cool Mega of Evolution. And with that, if it gets a Mega Evolution, then probably Yveltal and Xerneas will too. But we'll see if they go ahead and actually do it. But with that being said, I believe that its ability it should have would be called Hive Mind. Upon Mega Evolving, it gives a large boost to Zygarde's special and physical defense, as well as provides constant HP if damage is taken during the battle, no matter if it had damage already or at any point. It's essentially also works. It's essentially leftovers as well. It will constantly just keep on providing health, little by little. Basically the same as leftovers, same amount and everything. But it also provides boosts to all ground type moves that Zygarde and its teammates have as well. So you're going to get a boost to your defenses, leftovers, and then a small boost to the ground type moves that it and its teammate uses. Again, it's almost overpowered a little bit, but I think it's justified because at the same point it's almost overpowered, but in my opinion it's not overpowered enough to where you should be overwhelmingly worried, especially with the excuse me, with the boost to its ground moves. I think that's just one thing that you don't really have to worry too much about, unless you have like a slower fairy type. But at the same time, Zygarde can pack a punch, so you still have to worry about a boosted, earthquake or, dig of some sort. But I think overall this helps round it out a bit. And, the reason why it's called Hive Mind is because it's made up of a bunch of Zygarde cells. I mean, it just makes sense. And they all work as one. So that's my number 6. Let me know what you think about this one. I was looking back at the ability and it seems a little bit overpowered, but I think it's fair because it is Zygarde. It's legendary. And there's definitely ways you can work around this. So just let me know what you think. Now to number 5. So for number 5, I have Meganium. Now, if Meganium gets a Mega, I certainly foresee Typhlosion and Feraligatr getting Megas. Now, a lot of people have speculated that Totodile will be a starter within Legends ZA, but we don't know yet. We do not know if that's going to be the case, but out of all of them, even though if Meganium gets a Mega, so will the other two, which the other two do deserve it. I think Meganium will be one that is definitely going to benefit the most, at least within its reputation within the community. Meganium has always been a starter that's been looked down upon, and for a good reason. I mean, its stats don't, protect it none. Its access to moves isn't, the best. It's a really disappointing Pokemon within such a great generation. I mean, Gen 2 was such a great generation. And for it to be so disappointing is unfortunate. But I think with its Mega Evolution, it's going to be a very huge help. Very, very, very huge help to it. And I think its new ability needs to be equally as helpful, just so it gets it out of any gutters that it may have. And with that, I'm giving it what I called Garden's Banquet. So Garden's Banquet gives a large boost to any HP restoring moves Meganium uses, and allows Meganium to restore a bit of its own health after every turn if it took any damage within that turn. So again, let's say you're attacking and it gets hit. Essentially, it just makes it get some health. It's almost like a leftovers again, but with it also gets that boost to the HP move. So it's like you're going to get that leftovers essentially on top of that HP boost. So it's like you're with a lot of these Pokemon that we're having here, a lot of them are going to have item spots freed because of these abilities. They're not going to use like leftovers, because of their abilities, and Meganium's one of them. Now, on top of this ability also gives a slight speed increase to Mega Meganium. And I think that's just going to help it out. Just get a little bit of a speed boost on top of the HP restoring abilities. And I think it would be a real game changer for this Pokemon, because even though I'm disappointed in Meganium, I'm not disappointed in its design. I just really want it to be better. I mean, I think we all do. I think we all want to see Meganium eventually get out of the gutter that it's in. But I think this is a really good role for it to play as like a very big like healer type deal. So let me know what you think about this one. So for number 4, I have Tyrantrum and Aurorus. Now, the fact that these two did not get Mega Evolutions in the first place, back when Kalos came out in Gen 6, It's beyond me. Like, I still don't know how they didn't when you have Aerodactyl that had one. I don't understand. So, Tyrantrum and Aurorus with their return, which I'm excited for, especially with Shiny hunting it. I am looking forward to having these guys within the game, let alone Mega Evolutions. And these guys deserve a Mega Evolution. They deserve this much. I mean, and with that being said, if they do get a Mega Evolution, don't be surprised if some other fossils get Mega Evolutions. I don't know how many they would do, but I could see, you know, Rampardos and Bastiodon maybe getting some Megas if somehow they make them available. You know, I could see a lot of that happening. But we'll just have to see what Game Freak does. Now on to their abilities. So Tyrant Rampage is the one for Tyrantrum, obviously. Tyrant Rampage, upon Mega Evolving, Tyrantrum gets a large boost to its physical defense and offense, plus a boost to all of its Dragon-type moves used by it and its teammates. Very big physical boosting move, gives you a big punch with your Dragon moves, basically makes you a walking Tyrant. Very fitting for Tyrantrum. Now Aurorus will get what I call Atmospheric Chill. Atmospheric Chill upon Mega Evolution will provide Aurorus with the sky turning dark and it's summoning Aurora Borealis. So essentially the field, it doesn't really do anything. It just makes the scenery really pretty, turns it dark, and summons Aurora Borealis. But with that, the Aurora Borealis will, you know, wave and shimmer and almost look like it's shining down upon Aurorus. And with this ability, Aurorus will get a large boost, like Tyrantrum, but it's going to get a large boost to its special attack and special defense. Plus a sharp boost, like Tyrantrum, but to its Ice-type move instead of Dragon. Aurorus is Rock Ice, and with its ability giving it a pretty nice boost to its Ice-type moves, is going to be huge. And it also does it to its teammates. So like Tyrantrum, with it boosting it and its teammates' Dragon moves, Aurorus' ability is going to help it boost it and its teammates' Ice-type moves. So essentially both of their abilities are mirrors of each other. And I think it's kind of harmonious because, you know, Dragon-type, Ice-type, both clash. You know, obviously Dragon is weak to Ice, but Ice is weak to Rock, and both of them have Rock, so it's like, at that point, you're just taking a gamble. So, I think these would be really good abilities for it, allows them to be separated, but also, Aurorus has always been the second fiddle to Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum has always been the favorite. I mean, it's also my favorite fossil. But I do want to see Aurorus still get love because I still love Aurorus. I think it's a great Pokemon. One of the best fossils as well. And I think with this Mega Evolution and its ability, I think it's going to be a little bit more well known and it's going to be able to do more. Now on to our number 3. So for number 3, I put Kingdra. Kingdra is one of those Dragon types to where it's known, but it's now getting overshadowed by Pokemon like Garchomp, Hydreigon, not Kingdra, but Kingdra's also getting overshadowed by Dragonite. You know, it's just getting overshadowed by these other Dragon types, and I don't understand why. I mean, it's a great Pokemon to use, especially if you play Gen 3. You know, the horrors of Gen 3 Kingdra. But I think Kingdra needs a little bit more to it. And I think it deserves it a little bit more than Hydreigon because, sure, it's a Dragon type that's known, but it's also one of those evolutions that's hard to get. I mean, it is a little bit harder to get a Kingdra because of its evolutionary line. You know, with its evolution method, it's hard to obtain. So because of that, it's overshadowed because you can go get a Hydreigon, you can go get a Flygon, or a Garchomp, or a Dragonite easily. I mean, you don't need to go through Trait Evolution to get it. And I think with this, the Mega Evolution is going to be a little bit more rewarding. It's going to allow Kingdra to really shine. And with that, I wanted to give it the ability Aqua Throne. So Aqua Throne, upon Mega Evolving, allows Mega Kingdra to get a large boost to its speed and special defense, while also providing a huge boost to its water and dragon type moves, as well as allowing a slight increase to its critical hit ratio with its dragon type and water moves. So you're getting boost to your speed and special defense, but also your moves, your dragon and water type moves, are going to be more potent. They're going to have a little bit higher chance to get a critical hit. It's essentially setting up Kingdra to be a possible sweeper, but also allow it to be a whole threat again, to allow it to not be thrown, no pun intended, because of its ability, but it allows it to actually shine. I think it's one of those things where it will be able to stand up against the other dragons again. And I never thought of Hydreigon, but with Hydreigon being involved, I never thought of Kingdra as a lesser dragon to like Hydreigon or Garchomp. It's just, its evolutionary line means everything. I mean, really, it's being able to access certain Pokemon allows it to get more shine, and Kingdra is not widely accessible. Sure, anyone can do it, but it can be a pain because of how to evolve it. I mean, you have to go through a little bit of an extra loop just to get it, and I think that just deters people. And I think with this, people are going to be more focused on actually going and getting their Mega Kingdra and trying it out. So I think this would be a well-needed thing for it. I think it'd be a really good mechanic, and I think it'll allow Kingdra to get a little more love. For number two, I've been really wanting this Mega to happen. It's Aegislash, however you want to say it. I have always been a big Aegislash defender. I mean, in Pokemon Sword, Aegislash was on my team. I mean, Ghost and Steel is a killer combo. No pun intended. And the fact it didn't get a Mega Evolution already also kind of mind boggles me a bit, because it's one of those Pokemon that looks like it deserves a Mega. I mean, even in its final evolution as Aegislash, it still looks like it's missing something. It looks like it needs a Mega, if you can say that. And I think with a Mega, evolved Aegislash, I think it could really emphasize the Sword and Shield versions of it. And I really think that this would be a nice Mega to have. And with that being said, it needs to have a nice ability, don't it? So I gave it what I called Phantom Mastery. So Phantom Mastery allows Mega Aegislash to switch between defensive and offensive forms freely upon any drive that you decide to go on. So let's say you were going to hit with Sacred Sword. Well, you could do that while in defensive form if you wanted to, or you wanted to go into defensive form because you knew the opponent was going to hit you first. And with that also being a thing, this allows you to switch forms no matter what, and you always switch forms before the opponent hits you. So with that being said, each form gives a boost to its specific stats. So if it goes into its shield form, it will give a huge boost to its special and physical defense. If it goes into its offensive form, it gives a huge boost to its special and physical offense. And with this ability, Phantom Mastery also gives a boost to all Ghost type moves that Aegislash uses. I was originally going to give it a high crit ratio increase as well, but I think that would be a little bit too overpowered, because now it's getting a boost to its Ghost type moves, a boost to its stats, and it also has free time to switch its form. So it can switch its form whenever, and it will always switch its form before anyone attacks. Before anyone does anything, it will switch. So let's say that you're in a 2v2, and someone's about to attack. Well, you can switch to defense or offensive form before anyone even attacks. So it's like, I think that'd be really cool. Something that can definitely be abused. But I think there could be ways to work around it. Just because, you know, you'll be able to predict, you'll be able to find out strategies like, oh, well, maybe he's going to go defensive form here, so that means I can set up, you know. You know, and with that being said, when it switches to those forms, it takes away from the opposite stats. So let's say, you know, so when it goes into its offensive form, it isn't, you know, obviously the boosts to its defense are going to go back to normal, if not decrease a little bit, while all of the boosts go to its offenses. And same for defense. You know, it's going to lower the offense a little bit, but boost its defense. But it will always be able to hit hard enough to cause damage, but it will allow you to strategize a little bit more with it. And I think it would be a very fair, very strategy-based special ability that you can have on it. So that is what I believe the Aegislash should have upon its Mega Evolution. Let me know what you think. Is it too overpowered? Does it need to be add more to it? What do you think about this? For number one, I think we can all understand it's Flygon. I know a lot of people here were waiting for Flygon, and Flygon is it. Obviously Flygon's gonna be my number one. We've needed a Mega Flygon, and I really do believe we're going to get one. And we have to understand, we were going to originally get one. Ken Sugimori has confirmed that the only reason why Mega Flygon doesn't exist is because he got a very big artist block. He really, really wanted it to happen, but even in Oraz, he just couldn't bring it, bring it to life. Now we can, and I really think it's going to happen because the writing is upon the wall. I mean, it really is, and I'm really excited for Pokemon Day because this is going to be one of the Megas that I am praying to see. If we do not get a Mega Flygon, I think it will crush some of us within our soul a bit. But Mega Flygon has probably been the most requested Mega, and I agree, we need a Mega Flygon. We need something that compares to Mega Garchomp. And of course, Garchomp is, one of the best, if not the best pseudo-legendary. In my opinion, it is the best pseudo-legendary. And it's always overshadowed Flygon. I'm not saying that this Mega will have Flygon overshadow Garchomp. I don't think no one can overshadow Garchomp. Garchomp has put too much of itself within the history books. But I think with a Mega, Flygon, despite it already being a great Pokemon, it's already a great Pokemon, but I think with having a Mega, it's going to be able to compare a little bit more to Garchomp. I think it's going to be able to hold its own. Because we all know that Mega Garchomp, even though it hits hard, it's slower. And it doesn't compare to the actual might of the regular Garchomp. So maybe this could be like a big aha, because now Flygon's be like, well, regular Garchomp may be better than regular Flygon, but Mega Flygon's better than Mega Garchomp. And and that's going to cause a debate, and I think that'll be really good for the community, because now everyone can be like, well, you know what, I really like Flygon, or like I prefer Flygon. We will never, ever be against someone's own opinions. Always open up to them. Always open up to that possibility. So, overall, this is my list. Please let me know what you think. I think this list I made is terrific. I think if we got all of these, if not at least half of these Megas, I think we would be set. I think it would be awesome. If I would just say so let's say that we did get half these Megas, which would be my 4 Megas I'd like to see. Obviously Flygon, Aegislash, Tyrantrum, and Aurorus, I'm going to count them as, part of like the, 3. Just because you can't give one a Mega and the one other. And then my number 4, I'm actually, I'm not going to put Zygarde, because Zygarde I'm kind of expecting. But I'm going to put my number 4 at Hydreigon, just because I think Hydreigon getting a Mega with Flygon is going just be very harmonious. Just adding more Dragon Megas. And I think it's well deserved. But let me know what you think. Again, I'm always open to your guys' criticism, to your guys' ideas. I like looking at them. And And again, thank you so much for everything that you guys done for me so far, especially on the video a couple weeks ago that got over 1,000 views. I'm still mind-boggled by that, you know, because this is such a new channel. This is like a new adventure for me, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to look at my content. But with that being said, please don't forget to subscribe and like. As always, a lot of people that watch the videos are not subscribed yet, so please hit that subscribe button. I definitely appreciate it. It just allows me to grow and allows me to continue bringing you videos, and I hope as we go along, you guys continue to like my content, and the content just gets better and better. But as always, be a chomp above the rest, and I'll hear at you later. See ya.